You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys and gals, Nary here for Drakewing Gaming. It's 70 minutes with the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of a Masquerade in the Woods, Ink's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just want to let y'all know our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. She pats my back, pushing herself off the ground. I'll go get you something for your shoulder. With that, she walks back up the gravel path, disappearing through the door. As I lean forward, letting out a sigh, I'm reminded of the piece of mirror still in my pocket. I hold it up in front of me, carefully turning it in my paw, watching the low light of the moon reflect off of it. And I see myself. My violet eyes, my dark hair, my messy fur matted with river water and filth. Dirty. Like my first night here, covered in mud and blood. I don't recognize myself at all. I probably never will. Are you there? I turn the mirror in my paw. Who are you? What do you want? Are you real? I turn. Shepard stands by the door, arms crossed. I turn back, looking over the road. How's your shoulder? I try to shrug, but immediately regret the ache it causes. He sighs. What happened? Straight back to business. Was all that care just for show? I don't know. I was walking through the forest when... Back at the bar. Oh. You put the mask on and dunked your head in the sink. Then what? You passed out? How did you know I turned back to him. You were watching me. You brought the mask on purpose. Left your bag in there because you knew. You remembered things, didn't you? Remembered? No, I saw. Things from before you woke up in the forest. Things you suppressed. No, they weren't. Remembered what you did before. Listen to me! I shout louder than I intended. Shepard stops, looking taken aback. I push myself to my feet. I saw things I can't explain. Those were not my memories. Right? I know how to distinguish between reality and dreams. At least I used to. Now I'm not so sure anymore. I take a shaky breath. What's happening to me? Lahina takes a deep breath, averting his gaze. I don't know yet. You're under a lot of stress. You haven't eaten, haven't slept. Any man would go a little crazy under your circumstances. Crazy. Crazy enough to start hearing voices? I sigh, slumping back down on the ground, back turned to the striped beast. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I lift my paw to wipe at my eye, feeling the matted fur on my cheek. Shepard lays his big paw on my shoulder. You're not. He crouches down beside me. I'm... sorry. Are you really? I realize how difficult all this must be. I shouldn't have pushed you. I just needed to know. Why'd you set me up with the mask back in the bathroom? Ugh, sorry, y'all. I thought perhaps if you put it on, you might remember something. Remember, why would I... You thought I was him. You thought I was Ludwig. He stays quiet, only answering with a defeated sigh. I swear, the first time I saw you here, He shakes his head. You look just like him, Tiny. I look at him, and he looks at me. Except your eyes. And for a moment, we just gaze into each other's eyes. His somber expression emphasizes the rugged features in his face. His untrimmed fur, the lines beneath his large crimson eyes. Ooh, alright, one second, y'all. It's coffee time. That's some good coffee. Okay. The long scar down his muzzle. He's tired. He closes his eyes, turning his head. When I saw you with that piece of glass in your paw, He thought of him. I miss him. So much, all the time. A goddamn day goes by that I don't regret not going with him. For the first time, I hear his voice waver from its usual stoic tone. He sounds heartbroken, hurt, vulnerable. I couldn't bear watching it. You do that to yourself. I need you. I need your help finding him. I lift my arm, just barely making out the old scars beneath the coat of my fur. I'm not some battle-hardened vigilante, Shepard. None of us are. We're not vigilantes or heroes or soldiers. We're all just doing our best. You seem pretty battle-hardened to me. Different battles, different loyalties. Not all of them physical. But that's standard, we're all seasoned veterans. He carefully wraps his digits around my forearm, his large thumb gently moving through the fur. Even you. Not all scars are carried beneath the fur, Tiny. Alright, back at the base. What are you doing? River rummages through the different metal drawers I can only imagine are supposed to be used for tools, now stuffed with a small pharmacy. Prepping. I'm about to ask what for, but she elaborates before I get the chance. In case they're hurt. Oh. God, we just left them. We could have helped. We should have helped. I slide down the cold pillar, pulling my knees close to my chest. I shouldn't have run in the first place. If I had just stayed, none of this would have happened. What if they're hurt? River stops her search and turns to me. Just in case. I nod. Right. Just in case. I lean back against the concrete pillar, rolling my shoulder. Doesn't hurt so bad after whatever River gave me. I didn't really stop to ask what it was before I took it, but it's helping, that's for sure. I lift my arm, carefully untangling it from the makeshift sling she fashioned in the forest, and I roll my wrist. Feeling my stomach growl, I put my paw over it. I'm really hungry. I can barely remember the last time I ate. It must have been that grilled cheese at Lucas's place. Maybe we can get something once they're back. I'd be surprised if they're not hungry too. The rabbit lets out a frustrated sigh, crossing the room to Mason's workbench, passing the thick metal door at the end of the long hall. I swear, if that possum stole my stuff again, she mumbles under her breath. I lift my finger towards the slab of steel. What's in there? She shoots it a quick glance, shrugging. Armory. She turns back to the workbench. And whatever else Shepard keeps hidden away. The steel door hangs heavy on the hinges, a stark contrast to the beige stone surrounding it. What else is he keeping there? Fuck if I know. Feel free to ask him yourself. I feel my stomach sink a little. He already thinks I'm hiding things, inquiring about his secrets. Inquiring about his secrets might just seem more suspicious. I'd rather not. Well, in that case, it comes down to whether or not you trust that he isn't keeping some weird shit back there. I don't know if I trust him to begin with. And after what he pulled back at the bar... River scans the table with a sigh. Reluctantly, I muster the courage to ask. Time to go. Water time. Or coffee time. There you go. And we're back. What happened between you and him? River shrugs her shoulders nonchalantly, but judging by the way her head falls ever so slightly, she cares more than she'd like to let on. Ludwig happened. Even while only seeing the back of her head, her demeanor seems to change. Strolled into his life out of nowhere and completely changed him. Why'd you stick around? I didn't, she hisses. But then Lou joined their group. She takes another deep breath and shakes her head, signaling the end of the conversation as her snow paw runs through her hair. I decide to change the subject, rather staying on her good side after tonight. What are you looking for? Stapler, she calls out, bending down to look through the stuff. A stapler? I stand up, rotating around the pillar, back still pressed to the rough surface. Oh, like a medical stapler? Yeah, Mason likes to borrow my shit for his arts and crafts. She lifts her paw out of the drawer, a white plastic stapler raised, without returning it. She walks back over, placing it among the rest of the supplies she's gathered. Bandages, scissors, what looks like a plastic tube attached to a Velcro strap. She suddenly stops, lifting her head up with a blank stare. Her ear twitches, turning towards the open door. Her head quickly follows. What? I dart my eyes between the doorway and the rabbit. What is it? She hurriedly makes her way towards the entrance, swiping a scalpel off the stretcher. Someone's here! She grips the metal blade, edge down, getting behind the column closest to the entrance. I follow her, getting behind the one opposite and looking out into the dark forest. Is it them? I don't know. I strain my ears, trying to hear whatever she's hearing. But all I hear is the sound of the wind moving through the trees and an owl in the distance. Almost there now, big guy. We look at each other, before both rushing to the door. River slides a scalpel in the back of her pants as we jog down the gravel path through the road. And just as we reach it, two figures stumble out of the woods. Mason staggers forward, his mask buckled to his belt. Over his shoulders hang the arms of the big dog, practically carrying Lucas on his back. The canine's head hangs low over Mason's side, the mask askew on his face but still attached. They're both covered in blood. Fucking hell! Mason stumbles through the ditch, supporting himself on his free arm. We hurry over to meet them on the road. What's up, guys? Mason greets us with a heavy pant. River and I lift Lucas's arm off of him and onto our shoulders instead. How bad is it? Mason leans down with his paw on his knees, breathing heavily. His flattened backpack slides down his shoulder and hits the ground with a thud. We're alive, aren't we? By the look of Lucas, it's almost hard to believe. We hurriedly carry him inside to the stretcher, relieved to hear the big dog's heavy breaths in my ear, despite the overwhelming metallic smell coming off of him. At least he's breathing. Mason limps up the path behind us. Removing his jacket, we lay the big dog down on the makeshift bed. Rivers is quick to lift his head and unbuckle his mask, but part of me wishes that she hadn't. It comes away sticky, revealing the mess beneath. Oh, fuck! His muzzle's covered in smeared, half-dried blood, his normally cream-colored fur stained a dark red. His mouth is slightly agape, and despite the makeup, it's clear his left eye is badly bruised and swollen. Fuck. Fuck! Second, y'all. Water time. Oh god, limoncello water is delicious. She turns away for a second before quickly coming back around. What the fuck took you so long? River asks the possum as she begins running her paws along Lucas's body. When she reaches his chest, he lets out a low moan, tilting his head to the side. You think carrying all that through the woods is easy? Plus had to make sure you weren't followed. He lets out a groan as he drops down into the couch, having pulled a chair with him to put his leg up. God, he's hurt too, isn't he? We'll have to get him to a hospital. Cody, cut his shirt. Fuck. This is all my fault. I did this. Fuck. Cody! She hands me a pair of scissors. Pull yourself together! I grab them, instinctively lining them up at the bottom of his stomach with shaky paws. No, at the seam. Here. Shit, right. I nod, readjusting to where she points and begin cutting. River walks over to the drawers, opening and closing different ones in search of something. Should we get him to town as soon as possible? We better do what we can here first. You see that fucking monster of a dog? Fuck, that mutt could take a punch. Fucking lucky to be alive. I look over to the possum lounging back on the couch, realizing I must be talking about the Snow White canine, the one they called Benny. For some reason, I get the feeling I've heard that name before, but I can't place where. Yeah, someone shot him and he barely flinched. Mason nods, pulling his flip flask from his pocket. Fucker didn't even give a shit no matter how many hits we landed. Strong as a bull. Hit like a fucking train, too. I finish cutting Lucas's shirt off, lifting it aside as River returns. Who shot him? We quickly switch positions, placing me by Lucas's head. Lucas, I think. Sounded like his rifle. She dumps the equipment she gathered on the stretcher between his legs. Must have been drugged out of his mind if he didn't flinch. She runs her paw through the fur on his stomach, showing the purple bruising hiding beneath his coat. The Band-Aid covering yesterday's knife wound is soaked red. She gets her fingers beneath the sticky tape, pulling it off, eliciting another soft moan from the canine. He tilts his head with a groan, throwing his big paw up and placing it on my chest. I quickly grab hold of his wrist to support it. Hey there, handsome. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!